We're on the far side of the Prairie Sun and Timber House, and it doesn't matter what direction it is on the compass rose. What we're talking about is the back side of the house, or as Steve Baczek likes to say, the ugly side. I've got my HVAC equipment out here. I've got drainage. I've got my electrical meters. I've got all the different things that nobody wants to come back and see that are really, really important. Speaking of important, this is where I'm exhausting everything that has to get out of this house. So I have a bath fan. I have a dryer. This is the largest one. So this is my range hood. And then I have 2 ERV discharges. And they're all just dumping out here where no one wants to be anyway. And this is a lot. This is more than most homes have. But this is the minimum amount of penetrations that I can have to dump this out of the house unless I start combining them. So theoretically, I could have 3 or 4 bath fans condensed down into one external discharge. I don't think I can do that with dryers. I think they require an independent one. My range hood, I think, also needs to be independent or sized so large. If I had multiple ranges in the same space that were always on together, maybe that would work. But otherwise, you'd be drafting out of a different one. And that's kind of the issue with the ERVs. We could combine them, but then we'd have to have some sort of valve so that we didn't create a vacuum to draw out of another one. So I can't really do this with less. And these are kind of a pain to put in. They have to go back to the drainage plane. So Lane did a really nice job of cutting in flashings here. I guess we need a little bit of caulking there, but the flashing was cut in real nice on each one of these, and it all ties back to the rain screen, ties back to the Proseco Cat 5 SIP face, and then behind the rain screen is so any water that gets behind this cladding still kicks out over these. That's all the exterior discharge on this floor. But let's talk about intake. Come on. All right, so now we're underneath our TimberTech decking. This is basically a patio area. I don't think it'll ever be used for grilling or anything like that, but I could see the client, whittling on something, sitting on a back rocking chair out overlooking the prairie. This is a clean space. This is a great place for me to bring all of my intake air in because it's inside of a corner. It's more than 10 feet away from the exhaust. Around a corner, we're not going to have wind whipping what we wanted to get rid of back into our intakes. So we have our makeup air for that range hood, large diameter. We have our 2 intakes for our ERVs, and I have an intake for my makeup air for my dryer. Let me take you inside and show you the other end. What we have here is more of Lane's handiwork. We had Lane tasked with installing all of our Fantech pre-filters and ERVs for the 2 Mitsubishi ducted heat pumps that are operating the main floor and the lower level. So inside we've got our pre-filter, which is really mainly about saving the filter inside the core here. So this is just on the other side of the wall. Like I said, I think I may have misidentified the top one as the dryer makeup air. This is actually my dryer intake. And you can see that we still have access to the servo for the valve that closes. The motorized dampers from our supplier here are allowing us to stop that airflow right at the back side of the wall so that we don't have a huge amount of metal pipe that would have condensation dripping off of it. Obviously, we're gonna have to insulate it anyway, but this is bringing in our fresh air from outside, which then we filter, pre-filter, bring into the ERV, crosses the core, goes into our double studded wall cavity, and distributed into the rest of the system. So all of those intakes will require to be insulated because they're going to conduct temperature really well to the outside, especially from the damper out because it's just the metal. But then from the metal in, we'll still insulate because obviously metal is very conductive. So we'll be insulating all of these, and that is why you have all those holes in the house.